Well done.
Thank you very much.
No problem. So after Tibor, I decided to go up the street and I called into Fox's shoe shop where I had a chat with Jimmy Fox, and he told me all about his family and how long the business has been going.
Hello, Patsy. Thank you very much, and it's very nice to be doing a wee bit of cabin online.
Yeah.
As this is a service. I remember when I was away, any sort of contact at home, and particularly the further you're away, the more the contact at home was just valuable and a very pleasant thing in your life. Yeah, Jimmy Fox is my name. Fox's Shoes in Main Street, Cavan. The shop has been open since 112. It was opened by my grandfather. My father worked in it, my brother worked in it, and now I work in it. Back then it would have been open by my grandfather, and up to the late 60s, most of the family would have were reared above the shop.
Yeah.
So upstairs we have what would have been the bathroom, the sitting room, the kitchen room, the girls' rooms, the boys' rooms. So even today, when we have all our stock upstairs, there's particular shoes in the boys' room, there's particular shoes in the girls' room, there's particular shoes. Actually, the Wellington room.
In the Wellington room.
The Wellington room was the bathroom.
Yeah.
Straight. That was the only one that half measures up to what it was.
Right.
So, because there's no family living up, we'd be all full of stock. So, it's with very few families. I don't think any families now any shopkeeping families live above the shops anymore.
The premises.
There's a lot of apartments in town, but very few would live on the premises. As you know, I was born in College Street, which is a wee street up off the main street.
Yeah.
1957, and then in College Street, Cavan was a lot smaller town, so there would have been about 20 houses in the street, and all would have had 5 or 6, 7 big families with the norm. And with very little traffic at that stage, we would have kind of played in the street, and now all those houses would be mostly insurance offices or hairdressers. I think there's a locksmith in one.
Yeah.
But families like the Reardons, the Carrolls, the Finnegans, the Fays would all have been well-known families, and they'd still be in Cavan, but they'd be kind of dispersed out in different areas, and I'd still be very friendly. And as you know, there would have been like Patsy Carroll, we would have called him Dag Carroll. He was in the bands. And
that's right.
Peja was training football in the Gales in the County Cavan. And I was telling you earlier, there's a Reardon family. They would have had 2 sons who went to America very, very young, and actually ended up joining the American forces and going to Vietnam. And I would remember as a child, on Sunday evenings, the Reardon boys were in our families, or in our night prayers that they'd make it home from Vietnam. So you kind of, even though there was this tiny family,
Jesus,
there was a great connection. Oh, as you see, everybody comes in and joins us in the firm. So that's kind of it. So we're kind of everything.
You're 100 years.
100 years. 100 years in the main street.
And you have regular customers. You've got customers that.
Yeah, a lot of we still would have that old tradition of a lot of families, in particular people of my father and mother's generation would never dream of buying the shoes anywhere else, and would still come in here 2 or 3 times a year, and would talk about my grandfather and my father, which is a very nice thing. I suppose that's the way business is, but it's a different. Things have changed, but in very much. Hey, everything's still the same at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
you just get on with it and try to have a good time and raise a family and that sort of stuff.
So another 100 years, you'll be still here.
I'm going to be buried here. The ashes are going to be scattered
at the White House.
On the White House. Is that all right, Patsy?
Yeah, that's grand. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
There was no problem. Sorry about my battery dying at the time.
Hey, my battery's not great either. Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, Patsy.
Well, that was very interesting, Jimmy. So I went next door, and it's Paul Connolly's, and it's Connolly Brothers, as I know it as, and he told me all about the shop. I'm here in Connolly Brothers. That's what it was called when I was growing up, anyway.
Yes, it was there from the start.
Yeah.
Back in 1923, when my grandfather came over from Carrickmacross, where the family originated from, and set up Connolly Brothers then. And It was more of a hardware store back in those days compared to selling toys today. So it was hardware and light hardware and religious goods when he started off, and so he continued on with the business, I suppose, through 2 recessions.
That's right.
In the 30s and in the late 50s, early 60s, and unfortunately he died in the early 60s, and Dad took over in 64, 65, when but at that time Dad was working down in Smith's, which would have been kind of I suppose a homeware store. It probably did hardware as well, but it did lighting and all that stuff. So he left there obviously to come back up to work with his mother here after his father's death. So and then a brother came back from America, from the UK, and helped out as well here, and for a number of years. And then Dad and Mum got married in 68, and the two of them were in the business from the 70s up to now. Even when he retired, about 10 years ago. He's retired 10 years ago. So and then back about 24 years ago, I
took the reins.
I came in, but I only took the reins when he retired. You can't move a man out of his business. So I've been here since, I suppose, 24 years is a good bit of time as well.
It is, right.
Most people are doing their work for 30 years or 35 years before they kind of have their stint done. But it's again through another recession in the 80s, so survival is the fittest, and we've gone through them all, I suppose, and we're just 7 years shy of 100 years. So
are you going to do something big? Are we going to do something big? Are we?
Well, I don't know. We'll hopefully get there first. And if we see the finish line ahead of it, we'll try to organise something anyhow. Yes, no doubt about it.
There's a calendar in the shop your dad was showing me.
Yes, it was a man that found it in an attic belonging to off a house belonging to his mother, and its date is 1926, and it's you wouldn't get a calendar like it today because the quality of it.
Yeah, it's very.
It
was well minded.
It was well minded. Yes,
and he's put it in a frame, and
we put it into a frame, and we have it in the shop just for people can see it. I suppose if and when they're in. I had it in the window for a while, but I didn't want to leave it there just in case it got more damaged.
Yeah, well, the sun would be...
we have it in a spot where it won't get damaged, and it won't get damaged either. So, but it can still be seen. So it'll be there anyhow, and for a while more.
And there's a lot of kids that grew up and got toys from this shop.
Yes, I have an awful lot of grandparents in now.
Yeah.
And they're telling me that it wasn't long when they were getting their kids' toys in here.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat as well.
Same boat, yes.
Yeah. Because you had a franchise with Santa Claus.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We still do. He hasn't left us yet.
Well, that's good news.
Yes,
No, the very. It's amazing. I got a train.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But when I was 7, and it came from this shop.
Yeah.
And it was an unusual train. It didn't have any tracks. It only had a spring as a track.
Right.
And you put batteries in it. And this was and there was one of them old type Western trains, the cowboys trains.
Yes.
And then you put paraffin in the funnel of the train, and the batteries, and then something that heat up in it, and it'd puff out
the smoke to make it look real.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it always stuck in my mind,
Yeah. Do you still have it?
No.
It'd be a collector's item now.
It would be. It would be.
Yes.
It's amazing how things just...
Yes, they move on now. Even, I suppose it wasn't that long when you had children up as far as 15 years of age still playing with toys.
That's right.
But obviously with technology now, you'd struggle even to get a 10-year-old nearly playing with toys. It's mainly technology and all that stuff. And there's just, I suppose an awful lot of businesses have to adapt to that. So,
yeah.
But we do well with the gifts and the religious goods as well up front. We always have.
Yeah.
It never changed really as regards how much we sell or anything like that. People obviously seem to know where to get it.
Visitors, like we have visitors that come over and from.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's Connolly Brothers that they come to.
Yes. Well, the souvenirs obviously they come in for, and we've always done souvenirs like this. It seems to take over, even though Cavan wouldn't be in the calibre of towns compared to Kerry or down in Kerry or Galway or anything like that. But we still do get our visitors, fishermen from across Europe.
Yeah,
it would be the big thing, and then obviously in September, for whatever particular reason, September is a big month for Americans to come over. So.
Yeah,
it obviously must be reasonable enough with flights wise or something.
Yeah.
But they seem to be around in September more so. Yeah.
And you enjoy doing the shop?
Yes. It can be tough enough at times because obviously it's a 6-day a week, and touching on 7 days a week because an awful lot of people obviously go shopping on a Sunday. It is a 7-day a week in December, obviously, because it's the run up to Christmas.
Yeah, they used to close half days on a Thursday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thursday, and then it got switched to Monday.
Yeah.
Before it came along, and but that was soon kind of fizzled out because it is a 6-day stint for most businesses, and then obviously seven days for maybe the chain stores, But yes, it's tough enough to get a week off.
It is. And you're still going strong.
Yes.
After how many years?
Well, in total. 93.
Yeah, 93.
With 7 to go.
And still going with toys and
toys, nursery, religious goods, souvenirs, and then gifts, occasional as well for birthdays and anniversaries and that too. Yes, yeah. And we also do the picture framing service where we can make up frames for pictures with irregular sizes or whatever it is too. Yeah.
Didn't know that. No.
Yes, yeah. That
started
new, actually that up.
Yeah.
So it happened in the 70s. That started up.
Yeah.
So, we've been continuing on doing that. Anyhow, that's we don't advertise it because we have an awful lot else.
Yeah, I know.
To do, but it's hearsay that people kind of
word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. Yeah.
And next door to Foxes and
next door to 2 shoe stores that have been around for a while as well.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And you're on Main Street in Cavan.
Yep. Yes. A good street. It never got the heights of the Celtic Tiger, but it never fell. During the recession, it never fell really bad now compared to maybe other towns. It ticked along like your train.
That's right.
It just plodded along but the Cavan's got great history. I mean, it's always been a market town, and a town that does business, and I don't think